Tiffany Stratton could have a huge match at WrestleMania 42. We'll also get into what's new for Javon Evans, Brock Lesnar, and more. Starting things off with Brock Lesnar, because his name has appeared a lot in those reports this week, for a few different reasons. The first report being what Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman allegedly pitched towards WWE Creative. According to these new reports, they claim that Brock and Heyman told the company that Brock Lesnar should not lose another match in his career again until his retirement match itself. And that does make sense. If they want Brock's retirement to be a big deal, for it to mean something and have an impact, it would make sense for him to be ripping through everybody, looking unstoppable, and then lose that retirement match. That seems like the logical path to build up to Brock's final match. If Brock is just losing in all of his matches prior to the retirement match itself, it would really take away from that impact of seeing him lose the retirement match. So you can definitely see the story that Brock and Heyman are going for there. In order to make his retirement match mean something, and in order to make it seem like he has a real shot in his retirement match, you gotta have Brock go on a little winning streak here over the coming months. That would really establish the story of Brock looking as dominant as ever and not worried about his career ending, and then enters Gunther. There's no official word on who Brock's final opponent would be, but if you've been watching the product over the last few months, you already know that all final matches and retirement matches are going to one man, and that's Gunther. So fans think it's extremely predictable that Gunther will be Brock's final opponent, and that will be Brock's retirement match. So Brock could go on a winning streak here, but eventually finds himself in the ring with Gunther. And once that happens, we know it's all over for Brock Lesnar. Gunther will retire Brock Lesnar and add Brock's name to his list. There's no official word on when this Gunther and Brock Lesnar retirement match will take place, but the highly rumored location has been the 2026 SummerSlam event. The criticism we discussed several times with the first 3 retirement wins for Gunther was that they did not seem that impactful or shocking, because all of his 3 prior opponents announced their retirement prior to even facing him. Goldberg said before the match that win or lose, it was his final match. John Cena had his final match locked in for December 2025, a whole year in advance, and AJ Styles said many times that 2026 was the end for him. So in all 3 cases, it didn't feel like Gunther put this impactful sudden stop to their careers. With a sudden retirement match, he just beat 3 guys that already announced their retirement beforehand and already had one foot out the door. So that really took away from those 3 big retirement wins. Gunther retired 3 guys who already made it known to the world that they were retiring anyway, so that kind of took away from the blow. But it sounds like with this storyline with Brock Lesnar, Brock may very well be Gunther's first opponent that does not publicly announce their retirement beforehand. So maybe Gunther defeating Brock Lesnar will have a bit more of a shocking effect for that reason. Especially if Brock Lesnar is on this massive winning streak prior to the match with Gunther. He's climbing back up the ladder. Doesn't seem like he'll be stopping at all, but then he suddenly loses to Gunther in that retirement match. If those are the circumstances around Brock and the match, then this could easily become Gunther's most impactful victory out of the 4 stars he retired. As far as Brock's opponent for WrestleMania goes, there's been some reports and fan theories circulating there. According to reports, Oba Femi remains as a top favorite to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. They teased this match during this year's Men's Royal Rumble match when Femi got eliminated by Lesnar. And the crowd was even chanting for Femi during Brock's initial reveal that he was hosting an open challenge for WrestleMania. So it seems like there's still a pretty solid chance this match takes place. But assuming Brock and Heyman also get their wish granted about him going undefeated until the retirement match, that means that Femi would unfortunately suffer a big first loss here at WrestleMania to Brock Lesnar, which would be the first loss of his main roster career. It's not a blemish to lose to Brock Lesnar, but would Femi be able to take that first loss and bounce back from it? That's the big question there. It's unknown how many matches Brock Lesnar will wrestle after WrestleMania up until his rumored retirement match at SummerSlam. Maybe we see another 1 to 2 matches from him between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. And assuming they're going Heyman's way with this story, Brock will defeat and walk past all of his opponents from now up until SummerSlam, where he's expected to be taken out by Gunther for good. With all of these huge retirements under Gunther's belt, we can expect him to remain more towards the top of the card for the remainder of his own career. And no doubt, it's only a matter of time before Gunther gets back into the world title picture as well. Javon Evans has been on the main roster for a few months and has been doing a lot of big first things, and getting involved with lots of fun matches. But one thing we've yet to see him do is enter a long-term feud and program. Well, it seems like the time has finally come for that to start happening, and the March 9th edition of Raw kicked off that program in a big way. Javon Evans had a match against Kofi Kingston the week prior, and things got pretty hectic there. But Kofi Kingston came up to Javon Evans this week to apologize for some of those things that happened. And Kofi made mention about how Javon Evans reminds him of a younger version of himself. How Kofi sees a lot of himself in Javon Evans. Kofi knows what it's like to be the new young guy that's doing things that's never been done before, and climbing that mountain to become the undisputed champion. So Kofi ended up offering Javon Evans a spot inside of the New Day, offering to manage Javon Evans and guide him to the promised land of becoming a world champion. Kofi offered this deal to Javon Evans with a handshake, but Javon left him hanging for the time being. But Kofi did tell him to take some time and think about it. This does appear to be Javon's first major storyline on the main roster. This regime does have a tendency to discontinue storylines out of nowhere, so who knows how far this story will actually go. But assuming they stick with this story, it could be a massive program. Kofi and the New Day want Javon Evans in their group. They see a lot of themselves in him. They know what it's like to be at that point of the ladder, and they want to take him in and help him climb up. So now the next big question revolves around if Javon Evans would actually accept that offer to join the New Day. And the logical answer is definitely no. Javon Evans cannot join the New Day. That would instantly crush the momentum and the connection that he has established with the crowd over the last few months on the main roster. So although some people may find it interesting to see what a serious and heel version of Javon Evans may look like in the New Day, it just does not seem like the right thing to do right now. It seems extremely more likely that Javon Evans will spend a few weeks flirting with the idea of accepting Kofi's offer. But ultimately, in the end, Javon Evans will reject the offer to join the New Day. And that will most likely begin a long-term feud between Javon Evans and the New Day. That could definitely keep Javon busy for a while, because he has 3 opponents to get past with the New Day. He could have matchups with Kofi, Xavier, and Grayson Waller. So a lot of matchup possibilities there. So expect that big program for Javon Evans to continue to unfold in the coming weeks. The Women's Intercontinental title has most definitely had a more successful run when compared to its counterpart, the Women's United States title on Smackdown. The Women's Intercontinental title has been towards the forefront of Monday Night Raw programming for just about a year now. Lots of big names constantly involved with the Women's Intercontinental title. AJ Lee is the current champion, and AJ Lee versus Bayley for the title is coming up, as well as a big rematch against Becky Lynch at WrestleMania is also rumored for that title. But you look over at the Women's United States title, a title that's supposed to be equal to the Women's Intercontinental title, and it's not even close. The Women's United States title has featured 2 reigns from Chelsea Green that was no doubt great to see for her, but didn't really lead to anything. Then a reign from Zelina Vega, which once again was great to see for the individual, but reign-wise, it didn't lead anywhere, and 2 reigns for Julia that has also gone nowhere. Sometimes it's very difficult to even remember that Julia has that title around her waist. It's never featured, never showcased, rarely defended. You can just truly forget about its existence sometimes. But according to reports, this could all change here in the immediate future. Reports claim that a Tiffany Stratton versus Julia WrestleMania 42 match for the Women's United States title is on the table. It gives Tiffany Stratton a big title match at WrestleMania that's outside of the world title picture. And assuming that Tiffany Stratton will take that United States title off of Julia, maybe Tiffany can elevate that title and at least bring it to the same level that the Women's Intercontinental title is at right now. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.